The Houston Texans finally put the pads on. It was the fifth practice of training camp and plenty to get to, including the offense strikes back. Plenty of good stuff from Stefon Diggs, tight end talent, and a little bit more for you throughout the course of the training camp. Get you those observations right now. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Appreciate you watching and talking some Texans with me. If it's your first time, welcome in. If you're here every time, appreciate you. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get live in the comment section. We'll get to all of your comments and questions throughout the course of this live. And, of course, if you're watching this after the fact, well, the comment section will take care of you there as well. So we start with the offense strikes back. Yesterday's practice, training camp practice number 4, that was very, very much defense heavy. The offense looked discombobulated. The offense couldn't get anything going. There was no consistency to the offense. Training camp 5, the pads are on. They start in the red zone. First play, touchdown. Stefon Diggs catches the ball from C.J. Stroud right in front of Derek Stingley. Touchdown. Maybe a little grab from Blake Fisher to hold off of Danielle Hunter. Maybe a false start. Maybe offsides. But ultimately, touchdown from Stefon Diggs. It looked a little iffy there, actually, where Diggs was coming down, but touchdown. The official, the zebra that was there, signaled touchdown. It was clear that this offense was pissed off about yesterday because they did not look good yesterday. They couldn't block anybody. They couldn't get anything going passing-wise. The lanes weren't there. The throws weren't there for Stroud. Guys weren't hitting their routes, and the timing wasn't there. That wasn't the case on the 5th practice on today because Stroud was surgical in the way that he was putting the ball around the field. The very next play after they score the touchdown with Diggs is a little out to Brevin Jordan. Just zoom, zips it in there right to Brevin Jordan, moves the chains a little bit. And then the next play, the defense is thinking, all right, we got him. We got him in our sights. It's about time to throw them off their game and really get after them. And Jake Hansen comes flying in on a blitz. And I'm telling you, when I say flying in, it's about as fast as I've seen Jake Hansen move since he's put on a Texans uniform. And he's flying in there, and C.J. Stroud just goes, back foot, boom. A little dart to Brevin Jordan running across the front of the end zone. Catch, 2 feet, zebra goes touchdown. So, boom, 3 plays, 2 touchdowns. The Texans offense was back. They nearly had a 3rd touchdown when C.J. Stroud tried to go to Stefon Diggs over in the corner, but there was some pretty good defense, a little bit of a further throw than Diggs was able to come up with. But the offense showed up ready to attack. They could block somebody. That was the biggest thing. We talked about this when I was with Landry this morning on the channel, and we did the video getting you ready for padded practice. I didn't believe the offensive line struggles would continue once the pads showed up. Well, the pads showed up, and the O-line was able to block folks. Kenyon Green was taking care of business. Kendrick Green had a nice block where he opened up and just kind of bulldozed some things for J.J. Taylor a little bit later on in practice. Fisher and Titus Howard both held up pretty well against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. And Hunter and Anderson are doing a lot of flipping, so it's not always the same side for both of those guys. So the offensive line blocking well kind of put a nice exhale for this offense and got them set up and got them squared away to have this success. And Stroud was probably the biggest part of it because they didn't look as good when Davis Mills and Tim Boyle and Case Keenum were out there. I mean, not to say there was uselessness there, but Stroud had a nice level of comfort. When the first team got back on there a little bit later on, they were able to put the ball in the end zone a handful of more times, but better comfort overall, better overall production from the offense than what we had seen yesterday in training camp. So a fantastic bounce back, and certainly in the first day at pads. Now it kind of creates itself. The snake eating the snake. Is the defense going to bounce back tomorrow against this offense after they had a day that they probably didn't like and won't like watching the film? So that's a fun one to pay attention to, and that'll, of course, get broken down right here tomorrow. I mentioned Stefon Diggs got things going. That wasn't the only time that Stefon Diggs found himself in the end zone. He was able to find the end zone 2 more times in practice, both of them, I believe, in the second team period, but 2 touchdowns late for Stefon Diggs, 1 touchdown to get things started. Now, the last touchdown, Diggs, Kamari Lassiter, they're lined up. Stroud hits Diggs kind of in the front of the end zone, and he stretches out for the pylon. It looked like Lassiter maybe knocked it away. I think I saw the zebra go touchdown. Lassiter maybe would have got there in time to knock it away. We'll call it a touchdown with good effort for Kamari Lassiter. But Diggs, that was his 3rd of 3 touchdowns. His second one, though, was the one that I feel like just really kind of encapsulated the desire that Stefon Diggs has to go out there and be great. He catches the ball a few yards away from the end zone. And again, they've got pads on, but it's not take guys to the ground. It's not live fire all the way around, but there's a couple of defenders near him. There's a little bit of an arm tackle on him, and he reaches out and he's, full extension trying to get himself an opportunity to touchdown. And ultimately he puts the ball across the end zone line for 6. And he was fantastic. Even on the one where he didn't catch it over in the corner, he was just so fun to watch. In the drills, they did some red zone drills where they were catching some stuff in the corner or catching stuff at the front of the end zone. Diggs was fantastic. He continues to be one of the best players on the field. He's been the best wide receiver in camp through these 5 days. Nico Collins didn't practice today, a little vet day off, which I also found really funny. Nico, while he was out there, was wearing his jersey. So he had the Texans t-shirt with his number on the back. You don't often see that from a guy not practicing. Sometimes the guys will wear their jersey without the pads while they're out there. Nico went with the jersey, which I thought was really funny. But Diggs has just been surgical. The routes are crisp. He dispatches defenders. It doesn't matter who it is, from Lassiter to Derek Stingley. I mean, he just really goes about getting open in some of the easiest ways we've seen a wide receiver get open. And he's going to be so much fun to watch. And I know that there's a lot of CJ Stroud to Diggs. Well, Diggs gets open. That's how he gets the football. And that's what CJ Stroud, Bobby Slowick, this offense has talked about. You get open, you're going to get the football. Diggs said it best yesterday. He and Cole Beasley used to have competitions with each other. Who's open? And then within that, who's more open? Well, you know who's more open on a lot of this stuff? It's Stefon Diggs. So number 1 is number 1 in the wide receivers right now, as he has been just absolutely taking care of business, and everything that the Texans could have wanted and expected from a number 1 wide receiver like Diggs when they traded for him, it has been showcased. I loved him at the podium talking about how he felt like it was his responsibility to impart his knowledge at wide receiver to his teammates, to the defensive backs that he works with. Kamari Lassiter talked about working with him and how important it has been to get used to the NFL by working with Diggs. But I like Diggs. He's kind of a accidental poet. The first press conference that he did, I don't take things personal from people I don't know personally. I loved that one. And then the one that he said yesterday when he was at the podium was, shining your light on someone else doesn't make your light dimmer. And I'm paraphrasing that one. I don't have that one exactly off the top of my head, but I liked both those quotes. He's 2 for 2 on real high level thinking quotes that show up in the press conferences. So far, it is not just 1 thumbs up, which you should give this video. It's not just 2 thumbs up. I mean, if I had more, I'd give you more. It's as many thumbs up as possible when it comes to Stefon Diggs at this point. All right. Let's talk a little bit about furniture. As many thumbs up as you need for Urban Furniture and Decor. 7909 Hillcroft is where the beautiful showroom for Urban Furniture and Decor is. UrbanFurnitureDecor.com is where you can see everything, and you see the price right there on the website. Luxury meets affordability. It's a slogan, but it's what they go by at Urban Furniture and Decor. They want you to have some of the most beautiful, sturdy, well-made furniture at the absolute best local price. They are fantastic, specializing in Turkish furniture, but they've got Italian furniture. They've got traditional American, the latest modern designs. Urban Furniture and Decor has everything. I like to say, from the bedroom to the breakfast room, side tables to anything else you might need for your home, you can get it at Urban Furniture and Decor. You can get the best prices on this gorgeous, well-made furniture as well. Check them out, urbanfurnituredecor.com, urbanfurnituredecor.com, or 7909 Hillcroft for the fantastic showroom. You will not be disappointed getting your new furniture from Urban Furniture and Decor. The tight ends were fantastic in this practice. The pads went on, and I speculated Cade Stover was going to be one of the guys that showcased the most when the pads came on. And that is exactly what he did. Cade Stover, first play with Davis Mills on the field after C.J. Stroud and company had their success. Right up the middle, Mills slings it, only where Stover can get it. He goes up for it, and you ever seen those bear traps? You know, when you step on the bear trap and it just clamps closed? That's exactly what Cade Stover's hands did. That football was not going anywhere. He is in the air, vertical, with the football in his hands, locked down. There's a defender laying on him while he's in the air, like holding on to him, like he's wearing him like a backpack. There's another guy waiting for him as he comes down. Stover goes all the way to the ground. Ball never moves. Ball never moves, okay? And Stover was just locked in on that. It was a fantastic play from the rookie tight end from Ohio State. It was a great throw from Davis Mills, and it showcased the athleticism that Stover has. Look, he's a big guy. It's going to take him shifting gears and get going to really get into top speed. But if he can go out there and play a little basketball against guys in the red zone, he's an immediate threat, and he's an immediate target for this team. He wasn't the only one that scored. I told you about Brevin Jordan earlier on where he had the catch right before the catch in the front of the end zone. So back-to-back catches from Brevin Jordan set him up for a score, and he dragged the toe right there in the front of the end zone for the score. And you're saying to yourself, all right, well, you're about to tell me about another score from the tight ends, Cody. So how'd Dalton Schultz do? Well, Dalton Schultz is back in practice, but Dalton Schultz isn't the guy that scored. It was Tegan Quateriano. Okay, Tegan Quateriano, who's going into his third year in the NFL, been hurt a ton. The last time we saw him was in October of last year against the Carolina Panthers. That was the last game that he played in, and he's been here in training camp. I said yesterday I forgot how fast he is. Maybe I forgot how nimble Tegan Quateriano is as well, because Quateriano caught the ball. There's a DB flying in, and he kind of gave him a shove, thinking, okay, like again, these guys can't tackle fully, can't take anybody to the ground, but he gave him a nice shove, and Quateriano was, headed out of bounds, but then he started tiptoeing along the sideline, and then he's into the end zone, and the DB looks over at the official, and it was like, why didn't you call him out? And the official looks over at the DB and goes, touchdown. It was great. Like the DB, I can't remember who it was, but they thought they'd pushed him out of bounds, but the big fella kept his balance. And I mean, he had to lean it. Okay. He had to lean it in, and stick the ball out there over the pylon to get that touchdown. But again, I have underestimated Tegan Quateriano to this point in camp. It's only 5 practices, 1 padded practice, but he's faster than I remember. He's showcasing some of the athleticism. He's getting open to get the football, and when he's not open, he's doing his job to be sort of that safety valve and that safety route for the guys to throw. So he has the chance to make this a difficult conversation for the Texans and figuring out how they want to manage their 53-man roster. Now, I don't believe any of these guys at tight end can actually play fullback. So it might be tight end 4 versus fullback 1, or maybe it's tight end 4 versus the 4th defensive tackle or the 5th defensive tackle, or a linebacker or a DB or something. Quateriano has got the chance to make it a conversation about keeping 4 tight ends. And if by chance he doesn't make it, if by chance he doesn't make it onto the roster, then he's absolutely in the conversation for a practice squad spot as well. So Quateriano, he scored a touchdown. Brevin Jordan, he scored a touchdown. Cade Stover, he scored a touchdown. We know what Dalton Schultz is capable of doing. You roll all that in with a really good offensive core of wide receivers. Joe Mixon gets healthy at the running back spot. bing, bang, boom. All of a sudden, it's a very, very fun offense for the Houston Texans week in, week out. One more thing on a couple of the defensive plays and offensive plays that stood out. Let me put this in here the right way. A few offensive plays, and then we will get to your questions and comments. A few plays that stood out. There we go. Got the new fancy monitor that's not always working great. All right, a few plays that stood out outside of the ones that we've talked about already. Ben Skoranek had a touchdown at one point. Really nice play action play. Tim Boyle hit him. He was able to beat his man with ease. And that was a great thing to see from Skoranek because earlier in practice, he'd gone up for one, came down really hard. He was laying over on the side for a minute. He eventually got up, kind of walked away gingerly. But next thing you know, I saw him out there on special teams trying to cover kicks, block kicks, things like that. I mean, this guy's doing everything he can to make the roster. He had a play where maybe there was a conversation about at least defensive holding or pass interference. He looked at the official like, how did you not call that? And the official just looked at him like, yeah, sorry, but I didn't see it. But it's cool to see Skoranek come down with a score. Dameon Pierce had, I'm going to say a maybe touchdown. I can't for sure say that it was a touchdown. I'm going to say a maybe touchdown. He just kind of bowled through the line, and I feel like probably if they're taking guys to the ground, maybe Pierce doesn't make it to the end zone, but he just kind of bowled through everybody and just kind of kept running with the football and, threw the couple of arm tackles after he kind of made it to the almost the second level, and then he's into the end zone. It was a really nice play for him. Daria Gumbawale was a little bit closer, and actually I feel like scored on a really short goal line rush, and he had to fight through a ton of people, and there was a couple of arm tackles and guys hanging on to him, but Agumbawale punched it into the end zone. The running backs looked a little bit more physical and ready for contact with the pads on than they had the past couple of days in the rushing attack. If you remember yesterday's practice, the running game basically got shut down. I mean, there was nothing to note. I mentioned the Kendrick Green run earlier where he kind of was, clearing things, bulldozing things for J.J. Taylor. Kenyon Green was moving some earth as well along the offensive line. And then a couple of just defensive moments. MJ Stewart had a nice defensive play in the red zone. The safety, the backup safety for this team, being in some good coverage, making the catch difficult, making the throw difficult for the quarterbacks. And then Marcus Harris. We've talked about Marcus Harris a little bit. He's the rookie defensive tackle out of Auburn that the Texans drafted late in this past draft. And Marcus Harris got double teamed a couple times. And on one double team, hey, it's two guys. He got blocked next play. On another double team, now mind you, Marcus Harris is not the biggest guy in the world, all right? Marcus Harris is, I'm not going to call him small, but compared to some of these other defensive tackles, he is diminutive compared to them. So he had a double team on him, and Marcus Harris just posted both those offensive linemen up, one with each arm, and just started kind of maneuvering them back. Now, he didn't put them in the quarterback's lap or anything, but to post those two linemen up, one arm each, and get under them enough to kind of move them and move. I mean, he's moving 500 pounds, 600 pounds of dude right there. And it was a really impressive play. And I was just kind of like, okay, I didn't know that, Mighty Mouse over there had that in him. But 59, Marcus Harris, if you get a chance to see him when you go out there, pay attention to him because he showcased just some strength right there with those two offensive linemen trying to collapse in on him on a little double team. I say double team. He was the only guy there to block, and so two linemen blocked him. The first time they got him, the second time, boom, boom, posted and pushed. And he moved the earth a little bit, moving both of those guys back. Let me take a quick look through the notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. I got Tegan Quateriano. I got the double team push from Marcus Harris. Robert Woods had a fantastic play, cut loose over the middle, found himself with a touchdown. No John Mechie today. Mechie got a vet day off with Nico Collins, a little bit lighter on the wide receiver group, which allowed a guy like Woods to maybe get a couple of more snaps, and he had himself a touchdown. British Brooks had a goal line touchdown for a rushing touchdown on the goal line. And, I think those are the big plays of note that stood out on this one. And we'll get to your comments and questions and everything like that in just a second, right after I tell you about Urban Furniture and Decor. Let me look at the beautiful furniture. I mean, look at the colors, how well it pops. Look at the inlaid, gorgeous accents in this furniture. It's sturdy furniture, too. I'm a big fella. I can ruin some furniture in a hurry. Next thing you know, you're a year in. You got to buy new furniture. Nuh-uh. Luxury meets affordability, meets sustainability on this furniture. It's going to last you for a long, long time. It's beautiful, well-made furniture that you can't find at this price anywhere else. Urban Furniture and Decor has the best prices in town. Watch the website, urbanfurnituredecor.com. Urbanfurnituredecor.com. You'll see the website prices right there. That's what you pay. You'll see the massive discounts they're giving you on some of those items. You can sort by whatever you might need, from the bedroom to the breakfast room to living room, anything that you need. The showcase or the showroom at 7909 Hillcroft is gorgeous as well. Go in there, take a nap on one of the beds or the couches, lay out, bring the whole family, sit at the breakfast room table, find out if that's going to be the thing that suits your family. Urban Furniture and Decor wants to take care of you when it comes to buying new furniture. So check them out at 7909 Hillcroft for the showroom, or visit the website urbanfurnituredecor.com, urbanfurnituredecor.com for a gorgeous look at fantastic furniture. All right, Q&A time. Let's get to the comments. Appreciate everybody sticking around and throwing in on the comment section. We will get to you. Jonathan, good to see you. BG, good to see you. Yeah, the offense definitely was out for revenge. Offense strikes back. A little nod to Star Wars there. Patty, good to see you. Rolo, thank you. Touch of Trent, appreciate you. Mr. Jimbo, first time getting on live, loving the content. Appreciate you for being here, Jimbo. Rolo asks, any update with Christian Harris? Still not practicing. I don't know how close he is, but still not practicing. They could use Christian Harris out there, is kind of figuring out this linebacking situation that they have, but nothing to report on Christian Harris. He's still out just yet. Rock WP, good to see you. Jay says, Lovie Smith deserves a medal for winning that game in 2022 to gift wrap CJ for the Texans. CJ under center, all things are possible. Absolutely, man. Look, we thought it was one of the worst things in the world at the time. They figured it out, though. The Texans pivoted and found it out exactly what they needed to do. Spencer K says, good to catch you live again, Mr. Stoots, still here in North Wales, United Kingdom. Loving your work and updates, dude. So excited for this season to get underway. Fingers crossed for limited injuries this year. Spencer, good to hear from you in North Wales. In the past week, we've heard from North Wales. We've heard from Vienna, Austria. We've heard from Germany. Man, Texans content going worldwide, and I love hearing from our international viewers here in the chat. Spencer, appreciate you for checking in all the way from North Wales. Yeah, I'm excited for the season too as well. Chewy, let's go. B says, Unc Stoots. Yeah, sure. It's either the jersey or street clothes, but he went a different route. Yeah. So it's either, no identifying gear because you're just wearing regular clothes or workout clothes, or the jersey. And then Nico Collins went with the jersey today while he was not practicing, which was a fun move. Beast says W Furniture ad. They're a W Furniture store, man. They're the best. Urban Furniture Decor, Urban Furniture. They will take care of you. Good to see you, Christopher. Rock WP asks an important question. Gloves or no gloves for Quintiriano? I think this one was gloves, and I think because it was going to be wet and rainy, he had the gloves on. I think this one was gloves. I'll have to investigate and really remember. I may have to text somebody for confirmation, but I believe it was gloves. There's nothing better than rookies that shine. No question about that. Good to see you, D. Horn. And, of course, the Super Chats go to the front of the line. Jeff Malone. What a guy. If Stefon Diggs' football prowess could summon a mystical creature, which one would it be? Okay. Which one would it be? Stefon Diggs' football prowess could summon a mystical creature. Which one would it be? How about the Minotaur? Because he puts these DBs in a maze. They don't know where to go to defend him. And then ultimately they run into the Minotaur when they're trying to get out of the maze that Diggs puts them in. The Minotaur, of course, is the mystical half bull, half man that was the defender of the maze in mythology. So I'm going to go with the Minotaur. That's what I think Stefon Diggs' football prowess would summon for a mystical creature if he could do that. So we'll go with the Minotaur. Now I need a Minotaur wearing a Stefon Diggs jersey. Let's see if the AI bots can create that one. Jeff, I appreciate the super chat, man, and the laugh. Thank you so much. Super chats, go to the front of the line. If you have them, throw them in there, and you skip on all the conversations in the comments. We'll go right to your question. B says, do you think Mills can go out there and shine and take us where we need to if he has to step in? No. It didn't feel like the second team offense operated near as good as the first. Just 2s-on-2s or 3s-on-3s. Like, it wasn't as crisp and smooth. I mean, look, if you got to go 2-3 weeks with Davis Mills, maybe he can get it done. But if you got to go much longer than that, man, it's going to be a long, long couple of games if you got to go beyond a handful of games with Davis Mills. Any good O-line, D-line moments? Yeah, I think Marcus Harris probably the best one. Fisher had some nice moments against Hunter. Anderson and Titus Howard was kind of a draw. So I think that was kind of the O-line, D-line. They'll do a little bit more running, I think, in the next couple of days. They're kind of easing into the pads here. When they start running, it ought to be easier to see exactly on those O-line, D-line situations. Charles says, sorry, I was watching your boy Landry, but I'm here now. Good to see you, Charles. Of course, check out Landry stuff, the locker room here on YouTube with Landry Locker. We worked on some stuff this morning, give you an hour, get you ready for padded practices. Be hopping on my channel. I'll be hopping on his a bunch. We're going to try to just dominate this Texans coverage. I feel like we're doing a pretty damn good job so far. Bullock looked pretty solid during the drills. Yeah, look, Bullock is not had any really bad moments that I can speak of or remember. Now, obviously, the coaches may see it. He made a mistake here or there in what kind of coverage he was supposed to be. But I haven't seen a moment where I felt like, oh, man, Caleb Bullock's just not getting it done. Haven't seen that from the Rook just yet. Spike says, can't wait to watch Stover and Lassiter in the Hall of Fame game. You may not see Lassiter if he's as high up on the depth chart as I think he is. Patty says, our defense is sharpening some iron. Yeah, they are. Iron sharpens iron. That's a great slogan that the Texans have. Super chat from JJ Stagg says, nothing better than Stoots talking first day in pads. Man, JJ, I appreciate the kind words, appreciate the comment, and certainly appreciate the super chat. You're a great supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Man, I tell you what, I'm fired up for padded practices, and today was kind of a lighter one. They didn't go as long or as hard as I feel like most people thought they were going to. Guess what Thursday is? Thursday's a day off. So if they want to juice it up a little bit, they want to go a little bit harder tomorrow than they did today, I feel like that is a very real possibility for that sixth training camp practice. Does Dylan Horton make this team? Dylan Horton is still on the non-football illness list, so I am unsure of when he will return or what a return for Dylan Horton will look like right now. I would tell you that with Derek Barnett and Danico Autry, Will Anderson, and Danielle Hunter, it would have been difficult for Horton to make the team if he was practicing. But right now, he's still just working out, coming back for this team. How's the O-line looking? Much better with pads on, man. Much, much better with pads on. I mean, I felt like they were better in the run game, held up better in pass blocking, and just much, much better with the pads coming on. Andrew Turlington asks, how was the crowd today? Does it feel like the hype for the team is back? Absolutely. Absolutely. Cal McNair was over there with Drew Doherty, hyping the crowd up. They had him going H-Town, H-Town, H-Town. He was signing autographs, taking pictures. It was great. The fans were super pumped. Even with the inclement weather, it wasn't as bad as I feel like the weather guessers thought it was going to be, but it was still a really fun one, or still a really wet one at times, but a lot of fans still out there. Jalen says he wouldn't be shocked if Marcus Harris becomes a key rotation piece at defensive tackle. I mean, he was really good at Auburn. He was Auburn's sack leader last year from the defensive tackle spot. Now, when you're a sack leader for a team in the SEC like Auburn, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. That is nothing to sneeze at. Who do they have at safety when Jalen lines up in the slot? A lot of times that's Eric Murray. Eric Murray is the guy that gets, Jalen's safety spot when Petrie's down there in the nickel spot. Petrie said after practice today, look, he's ready for whatever gets him on the field, whatever helps the team win. Whatever he's got to do, he's going to do those things. If that includes playing nickel or moving around a lot, he's ready for it. Kara says when Tank and Diggs are on the field, who was playing on the boundary? So when it's just the two of them, they both line up outside. But there have been times where you've seen either of them inside. Kamari Lassiter talked about it after practice. He catches Stefon Diggs in the slot quite a bit, and just the matchups that they end up there. Petrie does as well. So Diggs runs out of the slot a handful of times. Remember, last year Tank Dell didn't actually line up in the slot as much as people think Tank Dell lined up in the slot. He didn't have any games where he outsnapped the slot versus the outside. He played outside more than he played in the slot last year. And Diggs, he's just so hard to cover from the slot. I wonder if we're going to see a lot more of that than we anticipated. Jake Eubanks, good to see you. Appreciate you, Jake. Ernesto, who's the starting center? Drew Scruggs. The big fella. Drew Scruggs is the starting center. If he couldn't do it, I would tell you Jarrett Patterson's going to do it. And if Patterson couldn't do it, I'd tell you Kendrick Green is going to do it. But Scruggs, this is what they drafted him for. Remember, he's a second-round pick last year. He got picked before Tank Dell last year. When he came back, he had to play left guard because Titus Howard got injured. But they drafted him and were ready to hand him the starting role at center before the season got going and before he got hurt in the preseason last year. So it's Drew Scruggs. Which player at cornerback and wide receiver stood out to you today at practice? Wide receiver was Diggs, and cornerback was Kamari Lassiter. O-line, D-line 1v1s today. If not, what matchups are you most excited to see? Did not see 1v1s in O-line, D-line today. In fact, I don't think they did really any 1v1s. I think they only did team. Maybe tomorrow's practice to do a little. I want to see these defensive tackles versus Shaq Mason, Juice Scruggs, and Kenyon Green. I want to see those guys. Obviously, the ends versus the tackles is premium, watching content. Fisher versus Hunter and Anderson, as well as Titus Howard versus Hunter and Anderson. That's primo right there. That's choice. I don't know. I'm not a butcher. Hold on. Prime, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want to see. Foley Fadukasi, I want to see a little bit more of him. Haven't noticed him just yet. And I'd like to see Autry. I haven't noticed him much in training camp just yet. Autry made my all milk carton team. When they put the people that are missing on the milk carton, he made the all milk carton team. Just haven't seen anything from Danico Autry just yet. Good to see you, Heisenberg. Jay checking in all the way from Israel. Appreciate you, Jay. Thanks for watching. International continues. Christopher Jackson says, what's going on with Mixon? Any news? No news. The news was he didn't practice. And so nothing for Joe Mixon yet. He was rubbing his leg a little bit after, I guess it was Friday's workout. He was rubbing his leg a little bit. So, maybe there's something from like a soft tissue standpoint that he's just taking a couple of days. D'Amico Ryans didn't sound worried about it. And again, we've got many, many moons before you get worried about Mixon not missing time. Yeah, Christian Harris got that soft tissue injury. It's kept him out so far. David Garcia, need that hat and white and Texans baby blue, Brother Stoots. So this one, you want a white Houston football hat? I'm sure I could work on something like that. Hold on, let me put it down. I know the folks have been talking about how much they like the red one. We got a blue one. Now, if we got a white one and maybe an H-Town blue one, if I get an H-Town blue type color, all right. Let's see what I can come up with. I have an entire desk full of office supplies. I can't find a pen. White and H-Town blue hats. Okay. All right, David. I know. Jeff's a big fan of the Minotaur answer for the Stefon Diggs. If Stefon Diggs could summon a mystical creature, which would it be? I said the Minotaur because, he puts the DBs in a maze. So, in the newsworthy about safeties today, MJ Stewart had a couple of nice moments. Aiden Garcia, did CJ have more pop than Stone Cold? The fans, I don't know if I can't recall. Maybe they were not paying attention, or maybe I don't recall the excitement for when Will Anderson and Tank Dell came out. Like it was like, whoa, like it kind of built, boom. It was really good, really good. The fans were juiced, man. Fans were juiced. JJ says, "Swarm the like button." Yeah, hit it right down there. It's a little thumbs up icon. Throw me a thumbs up. Appreciate you, JJ. Chewy, who's the Centaur? Okay, well, Centaur. I mean, it's got to be Juice Scruggs, right? Upper body of a man, lower body of a horse. It's got to be Juice Scruggs. It just kind of sounds right. Kevin says, listen while driving through H-Town traffic. # Texans Tuesday. Hey, man, be safe in that traffic. There's probably a whole heck of a lot of it. Appreciate you checking in from the road. John says, what's up, Cody? John is now in the house. Good to see you. DeRhino, 9 days, Stootsy. 9 days, 9 days. 9 days to the Hall of Fame game. There we go. Duh, Cody. Yeah, a week from Thursday, Hall of Fame game. Canton, Ohio. Chicago Bears. 119 dozen 55 sweat, which is also my favorite play to call in football games. Anything for impressions of Charlie Heck, Nick Broker, or Chris Reed was a sneaky good little ad, in my opinion. Heck has not looked bad. I mean, he's been out there with a couple of different guys, been out there protecting Davis Mills. He has not looked bad. Okay, every now and then Derek Barnett wins, but Heck looks much better than he looked last year when he was on the field, and it didn't look very good. Broker, I noticed him today, and I've been trying to figure out and pay attention because he was a guy, if you don't know the name Nick Broker, the Texans added him off of waivers from Buffalo. He was a 7th-round pick. Buffalo waived him at the end of training camp last year. Texans had him. Broker's on the team the whole year. He played 1 snap, I think, is what he was credited for. He's guard out of Ole Miss, and he looks much more muscular this year than he did last year. He looked like a guy that was probably, still a college player, basically, last year. He looks much more muscular and ready for the NFL level this year. And then I haven't seen much of Chris Reed. I haven't noticed him, but I'll put him in the notebook to pay a little bit more attention. I did want to see a deep fall from CJ, but the red zone reps were clean and competitive, so I can't complain. Yeah, look, I love a deep pass as much as anybody, but I love touchdowns in the red zone more than deep balls. So, it was a good day for the offense. I've never been this excited for the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, I mean, I get excited every year because it's kind of the return of football, but the Texans being in it, woo, gonna be good. JJ says Harris had to fall to 7th because of his size, right? Imagine if he had his skill with a 6'4" frame. Yeah, so it's funny because the Harris he's talking about is 59 Marcus Harris. He's listed at 6'3". No chance. No chance he's 6'3". Like, I don't believe that he's 6'3". So not as big as some of the other defensive tackles, but he is just as nasty. Eric Murray survived 4 coaching changes, but if D'Amico likes him, then let's trust it. Yeah, Bill O'Brien, David Culley, Lovie Smith, and now D'Amico Ryans. Yeah, remember when Eric Murray was signed to basically start and nobody understood why he got paid so much money, and then he turned into actually a nice backup for this team? Zach Rose says, what's up, Stoots? Sorry if you already discussed this, but late, any updates with everything okay with Nico? Yeah, vet day off for Nico, and Mixon still down. Well, they have a practice on the weekend open to the public. I believe they do. The open practice schedule is online and is not within reach of me here doing the live stream. Been hearing good things about Blake Fisher. Then you've been hearing the correct things. Fisher's had a couple of really nice moments. He had some good moments today. Nobody was really attacking him like they did a few times early in the couple of days of training camp, but maybe a false start, maybe got a little grabby on one of them, but Fisher held up really nice at the left tackle spot, filling in for Laramie Tunsil, who's still not practicing. Working out like a madman, but still not practicing yet. 119 dozen 55 sweat. Mixon soft tissue, likely hammy. Nico. Sean Kinney says, as a Texans fan from New Jersey, I'm going to miss being able to draft all the Texans sleeper players in fantasy. Everyone knows who they are now that we are at the top. Yeah, it's going to be tough figuring out which Texan you want and which one to start, because I think it's going to kind of, bounce around to whose week it is when it comes to being successful on offense. Anything from CJ you want him to see better at during training camp as it continues? But better deep balls. Better deep balls is what I'm looking at for CJ. Andrew Turlington asks, how's your undrafted linebacker doing? That undrafted linebacker that he speaks of is number 45, Max Tooley. Tooley's an undrafted linebacker out of BYU. Played a lot of football. He's a much older player than some of the other rookies and some of the other guys on this team. So he's much older because he played at BYU. And he played through, his COVID year and took the mission and everything like that. So has some coverage. He has not really shown anything just yet. I was watching him in some of the late reps, when Boyle and Case Keenum are on the field, and just the ball didn't find him and the play didn't find him. So haven't seen anything just yet from Tooley. He had a nice play a few days ago where he kind of met the ball carrier. I think it's British Brooks over on the sideline. Wasn't in pads, but Tooley – probably needs a little bit more, and haven't seen him on special teams just yet. Broderick Miller says, just want to say thanks, Cody, for keeping us plugged in. Texans for life. Hey, thank you, man. Broderick Miller. Thanks, Broderick, for the kind words. Appreciate you. JJ says, sad that it'll be hard for the guys like Xavier Hutchinson to make this team. At the same time, that's a great spot for your team to be in. No doubt. Look, you're going to get rid of good players and productive players and potentially good players if you have a good team. And that's where the Texans are. You want to cut guys where it hurts to cut guys, and they go end up on another team, because that means the guys you did keep are pretty darn good in their own right. So it's going to be tough seeing some guys that you're familiar with, that that you like, end up on other teams, but that's just the nature of what happens when you turn into a good football team. Killa X God says, hey, Cody, in your honest opinion, does the vibe feel different? Also, if Joe isn't ready to go week one, who do you think will start? Vibe does feel different. It feels I don't come in with any dread to a training camp day. Like sometimes you come into dread with training camp when you knew Davis Mills was competing for the starting quarterback job. There'd be a little dread, like, oh God, how bad is it going to look today? There's no dread with anything. And last year was like the unknown. You didn't know what to expect. This year is just pure excitement from the fans and then from the team as well. They know they got a lot of work to do, and they seem ready to attack the opportunity. If Joe can't go, it'd be Dameon Pierce. Like if they had to play tomorrow and Mixon couldn't play, that Dameon Pierce would be the guy. What was the play of the day? Diggs to start teams. Diggs over in the corner to start teams was the play of the day. All those hat colors, but what happened to the tinfoil hat? Spencer, you are an old school fan. Just for this, hold on. If you remember the early days of the stream, the early days of the YouTube channel, when I had a conspiracy theory, I would put on a tinfoil hat. I haven't had any conspiracy theories lately, so I haven't needed the tinfoil hat. But Spencer gives me the shout out to the tinfoil hat back in the day. Hey, I still got it. I still got the tinfoil hat. So when a conspiracy theory with the Texans pops up, tinfoil hat Cody will be back. But until then, the tinfoil hat has to go away for right now. No conspiracy theories to speak of currently with the Texans. But yes, great recall there, Spencer. Appreciate that. Longtime viewer. Appreciate that. Thank you. John asks, what's the deal with the offensive guard position? Shaq Mason's got that side locked down, and Kenyon's been the best at left guard so far. So, that's where they are on the offensive guard situation. Marcus Harris probably 6'3" with helmets and cleats and the little padded helmet on top of him. as well. Yeah, that first play touchdown to Diggs was a false start by Fisher. Yeah, you might have had an argument that it was an offsides by Danielle Hunter, but maybe. K1 Stella. Howdy, y'all. What about the safety position? Have you heard anything on Justin Simmons? There's nothing to hear on Justin Simmons. We talked about this on a video the other day. Is if you're hearing stuff about Justin Simmons and the Texans, it's coming from Justin Simmons. The Texans don't work and operate that way. Timing doesn't make sense. Like, other teams aren't even in training camp yet. Like, he wouldn't sign with the Texans right now. How's the interior D-line look? Better than I thought it was going to look. Harris 6'2" and 3'8", 304 at the combine. Yeah, I mean, he's stout. I just don't believe that height. So I guess 6'2" and 3'8" is almost 6'3". Put him in the cleats at 6'3". Late to the party in a Mixon update. Didn't practice. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson could be the new Mathis and Freeney. They might be better. They got the potential to be better. Thoughts on Akers? I didn't see anything. From him. Spencer likes the hat. Yeah. Michael knows about it. Patty. Of course I got the tinfoil hat. I've got a pack of tinfoil hats. One of the loyal listeners sent me a pack of tinfoil hats. J-Rock remembers it. Good to see you, Pedro. Appreciate you jumping in. How did Petrie look today? Nothing to report from Petrie. Didn't notice him in a good way. Didn't notice him in a bad way, which is probably, the best for a guy moving around as much as Petrie is. Jiffy Pop hat. Yeah, it does look like popcorn on the, on the little stovetop. How was Big Daddy Cow today? Haven't heard from him since the new uniform release. Got the crowd pumped. Thanked him for coming out. Thanked him a lot for the season ticket allotment getting sold out. So, he was in great spirits, and I always appreciate how modest he is at the podium. And then Hannah McNair's like, yeah, we're going to win the AFC South. I was like, all right, yeah, I like that. Rock WP says, bring back the hat. Hey, when I have a conspiracy theory, we'll get the hat back. Will like the hat. Patty says, nice to have enough depth at safety to give Simmons a pass. So, yeah, they don't need Simmons right now. If they show up in a few weeks and Jimmy Ward hadn't played well or is hurt and they're not really feeling it with Stewart as a backup and Bullock hadn't developed, yeah, call Simmons. Get him into the equation. But they don't need him right. If they want him, be my guest. But they don't need him. How did Will Anderson look today? Ferocious. He looks so scary, and he looks like the Terminator in pads. Like, he's already a daunting looking individual, but then when he put his pads on, it looked like he had old school pads on. Like, it looked like his pads were bigger than everybody else's for some reason. Like, he had like 90s football pads on. Akers gave my daughter his glove and signed it. Hey, that's nice. Good stuff. Good stuff from Cam Akers. Nothing to report from him, but I am intrigued to see if he can find himself an opportunity here in the next few days. Brandon says, conspiracy theory, Christian Harris has been gone since Biden stepped down. He was gone before. Come on now. Come on. Oh, man. JJ says, my full hat conspiracy is teams are mad Diggs wants to leave and starts the rumors. If I had a stud that wanted out, I'd be pissed too. Yeah, the Diggs stuff, everybody, and look, they're not going to sit at the podium and crush the guy, but you can tell how genuine guys are and how much they appreciate or don't appreciate a guy like Stefon Diggs. And the teammates have only said good things about him. The coaching staff's only said good things about him. He's only said good things about the Texans. A little bit of the honeymoon phase right now, so it's not going to last forever. But you never know. Hold on. Got Locker asking me for something. You never know when the honeymoon phase is going to end, but hopefully it's a nice, happy marriage for as long as the Stefon Diggs situation lasts. Juan Flores says, Anderson needs the neck pad, adds 5+ power. Buddy, if he put a neck roll on, he would look like a demon linebacker from the 1990s. Scott's Scott Love says, Houstonian living and watching from Denver, Colorado. Cody, you and Landry, where I get my Texans fix. Great job with the coverage. Love the shows. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Scott. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Little housekeeping for everybody. What's our biggest start to the housekeeping? Check out Urban Furniture and Decor. I mean, just look at the furniture. Look at this. They can get you stuff too. If you see it in the showroom, you're like, man, I kind of wish I could see that in maybe a black or a different color to match what I already have. They can find that for you. Urban Furniture and Decor, luxury meets affordability. Okay, it's fantastic furniture. It's beautiful, long-lasting, sturdy furniture. Bedroom sets, mattresses, bed frames, TV stands, nightstands, the bedroom to the breakfast room, they got you covered. If you want to redo your entire living room, they can take care of you as well. Look at that big sectional right there. And look how much nap room you have on that. They got everything. 7909 Hillcroft is the showroom. Go check out the wonderful, beautiful showroom over there at 7909 Hillcroft. Visit the website, urbanfurnituredecor.com. You can do some scrolling there on the website. Okay, you can do some scrolling there on the website. You can buy it right there on the website too to deliver it to your house. Okay, continental United States, all 48 states. Buy it on the internet, deliver it to your house. Urban Furniture Decor, fantastic furniture at the best prices in town. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed one bit visiting Urban Furniture and Decor. Just a couple more comments, and we'll wrap this thing up here. Luis, also from Denver. Hey, good to see you, Luis. Good to see you. Brandon says, hope Diggs and the Texans, a happy marriage, lots of scoring. And that's what we all look for. And that's what we all look for. Money Producer asks, what's the weakest part of the team that you've noticed? Probably depth in the secondary, and maybe offensive line depth a little bit. JJ Stagg and linebacker depth is a weakness too. Thanks as always, Cody. Y'all take it easy. Go Texans. I appreciate you. Quick one from Marcus. How are Stover and Lassiter coming along? Are they starters or too soon to tell? Well, Stover's not a starter. That's Dalton Schultz. Lassiter, if they had to play tomorrow, he'd start opposite Derek Stingley. How realistic is it? You see Diggs has a good year. We resign him. It's not out of the question. I'd tell you it's unlikely, but it's not out of the question. And Alistair Bernard, hi from Australia. Desperate to watch the Texans this year. So on this one alone, North Wales in the UK, Israel and Australia. We heard from Vienna as well recently. We've heard from Germany. Worldwide, okay, like Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, Texans worldwide here. All right, fantastic stuff. Thank you, everybody. All right, well, here's what we're working on. Urban Furniture Decor. Check them out. Link in the description down below. Find everything that you need to know about Urban Furniture Decor. Got some new hat stuff on the way. We'll take care of you with some stickers on the way as well. Check out Houston Football for all the writing. $7 a month. $7 a month to get all the writing, the detailed breakdowns of training camp, including the ones in Cleveland when the Texans are on the road. You get post-game breakdowns from the preseason games. In the regular season, you get game breakdowns, previews all during the week. You will not want to miss it at Houston Football. The link is in the description down below to check that out as well. The card art on its way. We'll find a way for you guys to buy that. It'll be good. So we're going to wrap that up, and we wrap up each of the live streams the same way. It's my hope for you. It's my charge for you as well. I want you to eat good. I want you to sleep good. I want you to be good. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for interacting and commenting as well. Appreciate you. And we'll talk here on YouTube about the Texans again tomorrow. Houston Football tomorrow for the observation. So much more coming your way. Day 6 of training camp is tomorrow. Day 5 with pads in the books. Appreciate you. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks, everybody.